Hi everybody, Mike Reese here. I have had a long stint since I've made a martial arts chat uh, video. And the reason why behind that is because, I was making so many, and I think I'm only going to do like I'm just going to make them sporadically. Maybe two a week, two or three a week, something like that. It's been up and down for me in my house. And in reality, it's just one of those things that eventually you just start getting really, really bogged down. And I keep on going on. I go on. I read people's posts. Some people are very respectful. Some people are very. They put their 2 cents in. That's great, and that's what it's for. And I like that, and I'm like all in favor for that. Um, just so people understand, though, I'm not saying this stuff like I don't want you to have an opinion. This is all my opinion. Now, this is my opinion based on my experience, my training, and the things that I've dealt with, which does include street fights, which does include fighting people bigger, stronger than me. It does include fighting people who are trained fighters. It also includes people, and actually, life and death situations. So, and actual professional levels and stuff like that. So it does go on the fact that I do understand on several different facets. Okay. Now, that being said, these are just my opinions. Today is not about any more of that. I think I've explained myself enough. But today is actually more of, how do we take criticisms? Because in the martial arts world, we just seem to be so prideful. I thank Kyle Stockton because we touched on this a little bit when we were talking in Arlington. Kyle Stockton, great guy, man, and I hope to talk with you again soon. But one of the things that we were talking about was it had something to do with how martial artists seem to be almost the most sensitive people when it comes to being critiqued. And I think the reason why is because, in essence, you can't prove if you're a really good street fighter unless there's a police report. But if you weren't there to have a police report done on you, or you just were smart enough and, the people you hung out with already had warrants out anyway, and the people that you were fighting probably did, so they decided, hey, we're not doing this now. We don't want to do that. We're not sticking around for the cops. There's no police reports that are going to get done. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that go into not having a police report. But at the same time, people call that a cop-out. So you can't really say that. So the only way people really acknowledge if you're a good fighter or not is if you're a professional fighter. But as we've all discussed, and how many people have even put, even in the posts and the comments and stuff on the videos, you do as you train. You're gonna do what you train. It really is that simple, and it's basically because you're building up your trained reflex response. You're building up that muscle memory. You're building up all that stuff, and you reflexively do certain things at certain sounds, certain topic. If someone says, "Hey, break it up," you instantly try to break it off. But if this guy on the ground that you're beating the crap out of, maybe you're doing really well, and you're like sitting there, and you're an MMA guy, and you're ground and pounding this guy, and you're just sitting there, and you're just boom, 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 and you're just drilling this guy. And someone goes, hey, break it up, get out of there. Instinctively, you will do what you train, and you train to do that for the ring, so you break it up. Now, that legally is probably a good thing, but this guy may not be thinking of the legal part of it. And when he stands up, he's got like a knife, or he's got a punch knife or something. And when he stands up, boom, drills you with it. Now you got this gash in your face or in your neck or something like that. It could cost you your life. Now, I've heard several arguments on both sides, and I agree. I'm going to share my counter with you guys about, how Boss Rudy said, okay, now when you try to poke my eye, I'm going to break your neck. Here's the problem. The first problem is she already allowed, or the person that he was training with, I think he said it was a woman, but the problem already, the first problem is she allowed him to put it all the way on. Okay, you get someone who goes boom, and they know what they're doing, and they hook you into a nice rear naked choke, and they got their bicep clamped up here, even closer up to their shoulder, and they're just pushing down, and they just yank and squeeze down, and they're just squeezing the life out of you. You're already pretty much good and done. Okay. The problem was there was no defense. Fact is I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you can't get it on me. I'm going to tuck the basics of martial arts, the basics of your self-defense. Is someone tries to choke you, you tuck your chin and raise up your shoulders. First thing you do. First thing I was taught. So you're here, and as soon as that arm comes across, you're either grabbing that wrist, or you're grabbing this arm, or you're doing both, something like that. Doesn't matter which. You might do both. You might be grabbing this guy's arm here, grabbing this guy's wrist here, just to kind of keep it solidified here, and you're keeping your head nice and tucked in. The problem is there was no defense. She didn't have any idea of what to do. She didn't have any idea that if you just shrug up your shoulders, you actually push the arms up. This helps you get that chin in. Okay? There's a lot of different things you do in your basic training that people aren't explaining anymore because they don't know. They've never tried it. They've never done it. They've never been in any situation. So it's like, give it a try and see what it means. Give it a try before you say it doesn't work. Give it a try before, And then the poking of the eyes, give me a break. If I'm trying to keep this arm off of me, because if I'm not trapping this arm, or at least keeping this side covered, I'm going to be getting hit with the other hand. And if I'm not moving at all from this position, and I'm just sitting there fighting this whole time, then I've done it all wrong as it is, okay? So there's ways to do it. I'm not going to go reach back here and grab you by the eyes and throw you on the ground. I even saw that on a self-defense thing, Fight Back, on National Geographic. And he grabbed the guy's eyes as he fell to the ground. And then after he got out of it, he kneed the guy. Falling to the ground would disrupt the person with the choke. There's no doubt in my mind it would, because your body instinctively will forget what it's doing to defend itself, to make sure it doesn't get hurt. But he also, if this guy's a trained fighter, if this guy's a trained person that knows how to do this, he starts feeling his body start to wane. He starts feeling this go down. He might go ahead and just press forward. This guy's already fallen. He might just go boop and give a nice little push, and now he's face flat and he's still got his hold on. And now this guy's forced, instead of doing this, he's doing this, and now you're secured in. The thought of it was ridiculous. I don't care for it because there's no defending yourself. There's no stopping the motion. And the first step of really a good self-defense system is never put yourself in that harm already. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't put yourself in that position where you're going to have your neck caught into a choke. You know what I mean? I just don't. I never understood that. But when you critique somebody about it, we seem to be very, very sensitive because the fact that we can't prove that. There's no way for me to prove anything. And everybody says, well, unless you can do it in the ring. It's like, yeah, but seriously, even if I did this and I struck the guy, I can't hit the guy in the groin. I can't grab him by his peaches and just squeeze them to the point where they're popping out. I can't do that stuff in a tournament fight. Okay, I can't kick someone in the groin in a tournament fight. I can't hit them in the neck. I can't hit them in the throat. I can't do this stuff. And there are a lot of people say, well, do you need that stuff? It's like, for proper defense to end the fight really fast? Yeah. Now, is it possible to just knock someone out with one hit? You bet it is. I mean, is it possible to use any of this stuff in a tournament? You bet. Do I have to use those targets? No. I use them because I'm getting to the point where I'm too old, and I'm just to the point where I'm just too lazy, man. I don't want to, score up with, I don't want to square off with no young guy that's all been training up. Nah, man. I'll screw up your fight career, man. I'll bust you I'll bust you right square in the groin, then I'll bust out your knee, or bust out your knee, and then bust your face. And people say, well, you got to be able to approach it first. A lot of times, everyone's focused on this area here. Very few people ever focus on the fact that I'm not going to shin kick you in the thigh. I'm going to straight out blast out that knee. Okay, my targeting is different than if I was in a tournament fight. Can I adjust my stuff for tournament fights? Yeah. I've taught MMA fighters. Yeah. Of course you can do this stuff. Of course you can. But in essence, I can't take a knife into a fight. I mean, seriously, if someone squares off with me and says, hey, prove it, I'm going to pull a knife out and go, okay, let's go. And they say, whoa, what are you doing? Well, hey, you fight your way, I'm going to fight mine. When are you going to go? If you go up against a biker that does that, I don't care how many seasons or years or professional fights you have under your belt. You got some big, you just got some mean biker guy that, he doesn't mind taking your life. Got some guy and he just says, and you're like, hey man, I think you need to be taught some manners. And he just pulls out a knife, goes, boom, and stabs you 14 times in the face, in the throat. Doesn't care, just let you bleed on the floor. MMA will not save you in that moment. Proper understanding of the area that you're in will save you in that moment. So this is not a criticism as far as saying you don't have the skills. You guys have plenty of skills. You have plenty of conditioning and training. You have great amounts of it. More so than probably the vast majority of the martial arts world. And if it was like MMA guy versus a bar fighter, just like straight up bar fight, MMA guy, he's just going to destroy this guy. He's just going to handle this guy all the way to the ground, and he's going to make him look like an idiot. Okay, that's just my opinion. MMA guy versus nasty biker that wants to kill you, like a Hell's Angel or a Mongol, you're dead. Because they ain't going to play with your hand-to-hand stuff. They're going to straight up just kill you. Well, I would never fight one of those guys. Situational awareness, right on. See, right there. That's the beauty of real smart fighting. But at the same, I'm just saying that we seem to get really caught up in the proving factor. Can you prove it? Can you do this? Really? Am I going to ask a Navy SEAL if he can prove that he can kill me? Well, they've been in combat. They can prove that they have kills. Really? Some of these guys, maybe this guy just started. Maybe he just got onto a SEAL team. He's not even been deployed yet. You're going to ask that guy to see if he can kill you? I can guarantee that guy can still kill you. I'm just throwing that out there, man. So, don't be so hung up on the proving thing. Don't be hung up on and don't get offended if someone kind of like, kind of poo-poos over your stuff. It doesn't matter, man. Seriously. I've looked at my videos and I've crapped all over my own videos. I've looked at them and I've kind of went, ooh, I need to reformat. Because some of my videos, I've watched my videos, I'm like, wow, I wouldn't even do that. I don't even know why I showed that, because some of the moves I do, I would do, and I have done. Some of them, though, I've looked at some of my videos, and this is all in fairness, man. I'm my own worst critic. I looked at my videos and were like, oh, wow. I would think I was full of crap. I'd be like, dude, this guy's gonna get someone killed. I was literally looking at my videos going, oh man, I'm that guy, you know. But then I talk to my friends. I've talked to people who've seen my videos, and I've talked to people who are very good fighters. They've trained combatants, stuff like that, and they've seen my videos, and they said, dude, that's not true. it's not true. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad that they're supporting me But I'm ultimately, I mean, I was my own worst critic. So sometimes it's just a perspective. Maybe it's something that you wouldn't do. Maybe it's something that you hadn't thought of, or maybe it's just something that you're not necessarily would ever do because it's just not something you're comfortable with because it's not something you've ever trained. That's okay. These are okay things, and I try to be very open-minded, you know. And unfortunately, I have seen some stuff though that's just really very poor, and I don't care how many times you shoot the video, it's very poor, and that's just the same, and it's because of the fact of how they're teaching it, and it's not just maybe it wasn't shown well, more as it was not just not shown well. It was poor mechanics. It was poor things. I mean, sad part is I think I saw, like, I gave crap about one video, and this person was just, I don't understand it. I was just like, I was really floored. But then I saw them do some stick work, and other than the footwork, the very iffy footwork, the stick work in itself was actually not too bad. He seemed to have a decent flow. He was pretty. It wasn't too shabby, and I was thinking, hey, and he had some training with, you know, one of the big stick guys in the Modern Arnis, and that's great. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Like I said, 2 or 3 of these a week, guys. But anyways, give me your opinions. Why do you think martial arts are so sensitive? What kind of proof does everyone need? I mean, just kind of throw that on there. If you are not a professional fighter, or if you are a professional fighter and you're talking about people that are not professional fighters, what kind of proof do you need? Answer me that question, because I would not be sure if this guy was saying, hey, I was a street fighter, or this, that, the other. Just give me an example. I'd like to know more. Okay, I'm gonna keep these going. I am gonna make only probably like 2 or 3 a week maybe. Just so you guys know. So just keep your eyes open. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Keep talking about it. Talk about it. Keep true. Bye.